Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Greg Michalowski from ForexLive.com. Today's date is October 24, 2023. This is the Kickstart video where I take a look at the euro versus US dollar, the dollar versus yen, and the sterling versus US dollar, and kickstart your trading Forex day. Let's start off by taking a look at the euro versus US dollar. I'll focus on the hourly chart. And in trading yesterday, we saw a big, huge move to the upside. That's a trend-like move, isn't it? The market moved straight to the upside. Well, we did have some consolidation in the European session, but in the early New York session, but then it surged to the upside, rising all the way through this area right through here, where we had a swing low going back to this time right here. Then broke below it, and then it swing highs right through here. So this formed a floor/ceiling before moving to the downside. That's important, and we saw the price move up toward that area and break above it, going into the last few hours of trading, and then rotated back to the downside. In the Asian session, we did move back above that level, and that kept the bullish bias going, reaching a high of 1.06935. Not a lot of resistance up here going back in time, looking at over here, but it is closer to the 107 level, the natural resistance level, and that seemed to have pushed the price back to the downside. We also got some PMI data, flash PMI data out of Europe, and that may have also contributed to the downside move. Taking a look at where we've gone so far, the move up from this low to this high right here, 38.2 comes in at 1.06175. And recall the 1.0608 to 1.0616 level was a key swing area going back in time. You can see the number of different times where the market was either a swing low or a swing high. Also, if you were to go to the daily chart and take a look at the 38.2% retracement of the move up from this September 2022 low to the high that we saw in July 2023, 38.2 comes in 1.06106. So that level what is holding up support here, also near the 38.2 again of the move to the upside here. So this area is going to be a key barometer, and coming down to it and finding support buyers is probably a good idea. Now, also another little twist that you should also pay attention after you get a trend-like move that we saw in trading yesterday was if you just take a gander at the 5-minute chart. And you can see in the 5-minute chart how the market was sort of, more to the downside yesterday, and then we moved above these moving averages. These moving averages were tested right here, more specifically the 200 bar moving average in the 5-minute chart. And we started to see this type of price action, very little in the way of corrective moves. But we did get a sideways pattern toward the end of the day and into the Asian session. And what was key here was the price held the 100 bar moving average, not once, not twice, but 3 different times before moving to the upside. We also held it right here and right here. So you have like a pattern of 5 separate times where the price tested the 100-hour moving average. When it moved below it here, what do? We started to see this shift in the bias to the downside. So just a little nuance in your trading that pay attention to. I don't often talk about the 5-minute chart, but when you have a trend-like move like we saw yesterday, it's often a good idea to take a look at that. It gives you some clues. Let's take a look at the dollar versus yen next. And if we take a look at the hourly chart, this pair had the 150-itis that we've been talking about up here near the that key level, fear of the Bank of Japan coming in and intervening. Yesterday we saw just a modest or a move to the downside, which was more natural than intervention related. And the low price came in near the high of this swing area going back in time between the 149.47 and 149.54. And then we started to rotate back and forth. We closed the day near the 200 bar moving average, but stay below the 100-hour moving average on the top side and waffled our way down to new lows. Now, I talked about the 38.2, or I often talk about the 38.2% retracement of a move as being a minimum retracement level that you have to get to and through if the sellers are to take more control. And in this case, the dollar versus yen moved down to the 38.2% retracement and found support buyers. So we couldn't get below the 38.2 retracement. That's a problem for sellers, and we saw the sellers turn to buyers and move the price back above the swing area and also back above the 200, now 100 hour moving average. We're stalling around this area right through here, and that's going to be our key barometer in the new trading day. Which way do we go? Do we head above that level and start to move back toward the 150 level once again, or do we find our early sellers against this 100-hour moving average, push back below the 200-hour moving average, and move down toward this swing area and make another attempt down at 38.2% retracement? Those are the levels that we need to get to and through once again in order to increase the bearish buys. But right now, the buyers are trying to push up to and through the moving averages. We'll see if they're successful. And then we got that dreaded 150 level once again. Finally, let's take a look at the sterling versus US dollar. I'm going to take a look at the 4-hour chart here in trading yesterday. Like the euro versus US dollar, it trended to the upside. It doesn't look as trending as the hourly chart did on the euro versus US dollar, but we did come up toward the 200 bar moving average on the 4-hour chart, and was able to get above that moving average in trading here today, which was the first time above that moving average, going all the way back to, well, back here, which is the beginning of August of 2023. So getting above that level is more bullish, but we reached the 50% midpoint of this last move to the downside. Now I put this Fibonacci from this point right here down to the downside here. Why? Because we had a swing low right through here, and then we had this area here where we found support buyers near that area. And then we broke to the downside, and we came back up to that swing low and found willing sellers before moving to the downside. So this is a trend-like move. And then we corrected up toward the 50% retracement, couldn't get above that level, and moved back below the 200 bar moving average, turning the bias more to the downside. That level came in at 1.22654. And so we are trading now back below this swing area, back below the 38.2, and we're going to need to get above this 38.2, 1.22318 to put the buyers back in control. Absent that, we could see a rotation back down toward the 100 bar moving average at 1.21827. Right now, we're in between that resistance above and support below, sort of in the middle of nowhere, but certainly the sellers are taking more control. Remember, I talked about the 5-minute chart on a trend type move. Well, this is what the sterling versus US dollar looked on the 5-minute chart yesterday. Like the euro versus US dollar, we consolidated in this area right through here, and then started its trend move to the upside, and that trend move took the price all the way up to this high right here. And note here how the price in today's trading came down, tested the 100 bar moving average not once, not twice, but 3 different times, and then before moving to the upside. And then we came down to that 100 bar moving average and fell below the level. The retracement level did come back up to the 100 bar moving average, and again found sellers, and that was the key for the downside here for the sterling versus US dollar. So once again, pay attention to that 5-minute chart. So there you have it, a look at 30 of the major currency pairs. My name is Greg Michaelowski. Good fortune with your trading. Bye-bye now.